The club, in association with Ascent, personalised cycle insurance.
Hello and welcome to the top of Castle Hill, where I'm told on a good day you can see Huddersfield down below and then half of Yorkshire spread out beyond that. But, as is now blindingly obvious to you, today is not a good day. We're the guests of Ravensthorpe Cycling Club, founded in 1891. It's one of the oldest in the country, and it's still home to the great Brian Robinson, the first ever British stage winner on the Tour de France, and one of Yorkshire's iconic hardmen, for whom weather like this is, frankly, just like a warm summer's day. Welcome to the club. Frankly, it's a filthy wet morning here in Huddersfield, damp, dark and gloomy. But that hasn't stopped the Ravensthorpe Cycling Club turning out in their usual exceptional numbers for the traditional club run. One by one, they made their way to the tucked away meeting point, kitted out for the conditions and full of properly Yorkshire bonhomie, despite the weather, or, I had the sneaking suspicion, maybe because of it. Among Ravensthorpe's diverse range of riders is a local legend, Brian Robinson. The first Briton to win a stage of the Tour de France in 1958, and aged 86, still a regular on club rides. At the other end of the spectrum, there's a young man called Timothy, or Tim. And there's some loose, crazy talk of him challenging me to a roller race. Now, having already raced a 12-year-old and lost back in Kingston, I am distinctly disturbed by this possibility. Right, so before we get going with Ravensthorpe Cycling Club, it's the ever popular leg shaving percentage challenge. So basically, Ravensthorpe, divide yourselves into those who have shaved their legs in the past and those who've never shaved their legs. Let's have a look. So roughly, where does it part?
You've shaved, Richard.
Yes, you have.
Blimey. So that's the hairy bunch there. Yay! And that is the non-hairy bunch. Yay! That is 66% shaven. And that, ladies and gentlemen, so far is a record. Well done.
Oh, do you know, I don't think Ned's got mud guards on.
I can't come. We set off from the start point and make our way through the busy streets, heading out for the Dales. Ravensthorpe Cycling Club is one of the oldest in the country, dating back to 1891. It seems fitting then that they have one of Britain's oldest cycling legends in their club in the form of Brian Robinson. The club is located in the heart of cycling country, and often you'll find them traversing some of the same routes featured on the Tour de Yorkshire, as well as the 2014 Tour de France. After making our way through the wet roads of Huddersfield, we finally arrive at our first stop and completely take the place over, the Corner House Cafe. We're soaked and pretty muddy by now, most of which is my fault. Ravensthorpe has a strict compulsory mudguard rule, quite right too, and I broke it. I feel I owe an apology to Rachel. Rachel, come here a second. Okay, this is the first stop on our ride so far. It's been kind of hovering around 0 degrees, -1 sort of thing, light rain, puddles, mud, relentless good humour, and the fact that I don't have a rear mudguard has resulted in Rachel looking like that. I can only apologise and buy her a coffee, which is what I'm about to do in the Corner House Cafe. That's where we're going to stop. The cafe is a welcome break from the harsh riding conditions. It's small, but just about manages to squeeze the whole club inside. Aside from his spell abroad when he was racing against the very best of his generation, or indeed any, Brian Robinson has never strayed far from home. He still lives right in the heart of the country which made him. And a trip through his scrapbooks is a wonderful immersion into a glorious past. It's easy to underestimate just how good a rider Brian was, competing at the highest level on the greatest teams and on occasion beating them too. When one thinks of the British lineage, from Cavendish to Wiggins, Boardman to Robert Miller and of course Tom Simpson, Brian Robinson, his former teammate, is every bit as important a figure. A remarkable rider, a remarkable man. Well, Brian, you've got a box full of memories here. It's not particularly ordered in any way, but it's a lot of decades that this spans, isn't it?
Well, it is really from what, mid-1950. Well, amateur days, of course, 1949. But we go back a long way. And when I get on the bike now, I realise how long it is.
Where did you train? I mean,
well, where we've been today, yes. Yeah, that was a favourite ride. Yeah.
Those must have been. You must have ridden them hundreds, thousands of times over and over.
I've ridden quite a long time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you would go over the top and come back round via Sheffield way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's no coincidence, is it, that Yorkshire's produced, yourself and so many others?
No, I don't think so, because Bradford produced a lot of it. It was one of the centres of cycling with Wolverhampton, and I had the advantage of training with the guys 3 years older than myself and going at their pace, so that sort of lifted me up a step, which stood me in good when I went to France, because you've got to lift up 2 steps when you go to France.
I mean, I was just reading one of the articles you picked out here, and you said that when you started racing in France, the peloton was moving 5 miles an hour on average faster than you were used to, and 5 miles an hour for anyone who knows it's like night and day, isn't it? It's such
well, it is really, yeah.
But
it was that sort of an effect it had on us anyway.
Modern cycling, the modern peloton is very specialised, isn't it?
Yes.
The days when Eddie Merckx could win everything going, they're finished. The days when Sean Kelly could win a Grand Tour, that's finished.
Yes.
If you put Brian Robinson into the modern peloton, where do you fit in?
I wouldn't, because I like to be free and easy, and I would never. Well, permit is a strong word, but somebody to tell me what to do. Yep. I've never been like that. I've always done my own thing, which in some cases hasn't been right, of course, but follow my own direction, if you like. So I would rib against that, and I think quite a few people have done, haven't they? Like Adam Blythe, for example.
Yeah.
He couldn't bear the
regimented
source. Yeah. I mean, I've always been independent on myself and done the right thing as far as hard work and training goes. Might not have always done the right thing in the race, but we were free. And for example, my director sport, he's never said you've got to win this or you've got to do that or you've got to do this. He just say keep an eye on so and so. He's going well. See how he goes. But if he didn't go well in the first 2 days, you were on your own. You did your own thing. And looked after yourself, which is another thing. You have to be selfish to be at the top, really. And a lot of top people get criticised for that, don't they? But you have to be. There's no way around that, in my view.
Yeah.
You have to be focused on yourself and doing everything that makes you better.
And just finally, the climb up to Holm Moss. For a long time you had the record. And how long did that record stand for?
Not long, actually, because I don't think I got it in the championship was never on Holm Moss until the following year or following 2 years, and then Ronnie Stringwell did a 6 minutes 3, which was good, really good. Well, it had to be ended. But he was a specialist climber, of course.
And you wouldn't quite class yourself as a specialist?
No, we just mixed it in, yeah.
Well, you saw me climbing up Holm Moss.
Yes.
You were there at the top, Brian, with the flag,
yes,
cheering us all on. I'm just a bit disappointed you haven't given me any recognition or praise or appraisal of my performance at all. But
it's because my lips were frozen.
that is a horrible climb. It goes on. It's the wind, isn't it?
The wind, yeah. It's nice on a calm day.
Do you get calm days?
Oh yes, well I must have had when I got the record at that time. I must have had a reasonable.
You must have had a howling tailwind. You didn't have to.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Probably.
You didn't have to battle.
I don't remember.
No, nothing like the conditions I had to brave today. Cheers, Brian.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you very much. So after refuelling with coffee and cake, we leave to continue our ride in the hills of Yorkshire, and the infamous Holm Moss is looming. It's time to get my race face back on.
It's been so long since you've come my way.
With a strong and growing women's section, the club now boasts over 150 members.
So you're not used to this lovely Yorkshire weather then?
Almost every time I've ridden in Yorkshire, it's been a bit like this. I mean, can you remember 2014 when the Tour de France came here?
Yeah, we went to watch it. We went to the top of Woodhead to watch.
Yeah.
It's just, you go out and especially when you go up into Dales, and it's just a lovely day, which we do get occasionally. Yeah. Blue sky, and it's just stunning.
Well, it's beautiful when the Tour de France came here, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You forget how hard it is going up a hill, really, because it's just so beautiful when you're riding.
Yeah. So what about Holm Moss then?
Not been up this side.
Haven't you? No. It's just new for you as well,
This
isn't
is
it?
new for me.
Okay.
Been up the other side a few times. I don't like hills.
This is just the start. Won't get anywhere, but don't believe it.
Coming up, we take on Holm Moss, and then I try to put young Timothy in his place.